Hey everybody, I'm Chief Meteorologist Ken Weathers. Just want to give you a quick update, a synopsis kind of what we're expecting as we go through the day on our Friday. First, let's start off with tonight. I do think we'll see some additional showers, even some rumbles of thunder around the area, but not expected to be severe. My biggest concern for tonight, of course, if we saw some downpours where we had some of the flooding basically last night into early this morning. Thankfully, we've had some dry time most of the day today, so a lot of the water's had time to recede and hopefully soak in some spots. But it wouldn't take much, as you know, to cause some concern. So we'll be watching that. Second, we will be weather aware for our Friday for two main reasons. One, it's going to be extremely windy throughout the day, even before we have a threat for storms, and that threat for storms could be severe at times, especially from about, say, mid-morning to mid-afternoon looks to be the best timing of that. Let's start with what's going on right now. We do have some scattered rain showers across the Southern Valley. This is some light to at times moderate rain, McMinn and Monroe counties, and that is drifting northward. This is kind of right along a boundary that went through our area yesterday, the same boundary that produced that heavy rainfall overnight. We talked about this, how it would set up shop to our south, but then lift back northward as we go through the night tonight. And that will be the case. That's where we're going to see the scattered showers. You may hear some rumbles of thunder, but that's not expected to be severe. This is the severe weather maker making its way through Texas right now, heading towards the Arklatex, southern Arkansas, northwest Louisiana, producing severe thunderstorms and even a couple of tornado warnings being sparked there. That's going to be our weather maker that will roll through later as we go through the day tomorrow. But let's talk about the timing of tonight's front. Again, this boundary will lift northward. We'll see scattered rain showers. That's where we are now. This is 1 o'clock in the morning. And towards daybreak, some of that rainfall, I think, could be heavy. That's where we'll have to watch that potential anyway, maybe for some isolated flooding in some spots. That rain pushes north, very heavy rain back to the north and west. And this is heavy rainfall and a line of storms that'll develop towards the Mississippi River. Let's advance this towards about 7 a.m. We'll stop there. Dry commute as you're heading out the door. But again, this is our weather maker as we go a little bit later in the afternoon. Let's talk about that. For now, the Storms Prediction Center has this area shaded in orange. That's a level 3 out of 5 risk area. So a little bit higher risk there compared to what we're seeing in the green, and then stair step it down to a level 2 here in yellow. For now, it's from about Nashville up to Lexington, and we're in that level 2 range. I would not be surprised if at least some of our area gets bumped up to that level 3 range as we go through the day tomorrow, like starting out first thing in the morning. I would say anywhere from the Plateau, Knoxville southward, like along that I-40 corridor, that wouldn't surprise me. Regardless, it doesn't matter what risk level you are under. Just know that that potential is there for tornadic storms and storms that could produce some damaging winds. Now, a couple of caveats here. This is not going to be a long duration event. This is going to push through quickly and it's going to be gone. This is not a hail producing type system, not a heavy rain producing type system. Really, the only threat for heavy rain is going to be tonight across the area into early tomorrow, and that won't be widespread. Have wind damage as a high threat because even with the storms before they move through, there are going to be gusty winds, which I'll talk about. And I've bumped up the tornado threat to medium at this point because I do think conditions are looking a little more favorable than they did yesterday, and something that really bears watching across the area. So let's start with the timing. Again, quiet in that morning commute. This is at 7 o'clock. I'll advance it and stop it at about 11. Still relatively quiet. Then it's going to ramp up very quickly across the area. This is 2 p.m. We've got storms that are firing across portions of the plateau. And since this isn't showing up as like just a line of storms moving through, that has my attention because oftentimes what happens with these little individual type cells, they get out ahead of the main line or the main cold front, they can kind of start to spin. And those are the ones that you really have to keep a close eye on. Another thing, speed of these storms. They're going to be racing off to the north and east, and anywhere from about 45 to maybe 50 plus miles per hour. So when that happens, you're going to have a short lead time. And what I mean by that is when the warning is issued, you've got to immediately get to your safe area. So now's kind of the time to make that plan and have it ready before you need it across the area. Got some people that are also asking about questions in the area. Do we think we'll see tornadoes around the Loudoun County or Knoxville? I think anywhere in the area has that potential. You can't say with any accuracy or certainty, this county will, this county won't. You can't. the environment will be favorable that anybody could across the area. So that's why everybody needs to be weather aware. Let's get back to the timing of this. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll stop it at 4. Plateau by then, 3 Central, you're done with this. It's going to be over with. Areas from Knoxville eastward still bear watching. By the time we get between about 5:30, it is gone, and we're going to be dry, quiet the rest of the evening. I will say, though, maybe still a little breezy. Those winds will stay gusty even into the evening hours until we get past sunset. This is Friday at 6. Cooler, drier air starts to come back in, and by 11 o'clock tomorrow night, we may have some upper 30s already across portions of the plateau, so it's getting very cool by then. Now, I talked about that potential even before the storms arrive. It's going to be windy. A high wind warning has been issued for everybody in East Tennessee and Southeast Kentucky. What does that mean? Well, what we're seeing is winds 25 to 35 sustained, and gusts could be over 55. Higher elevations of the Smokies, you get above 3,000 feet, we could see winds gusting over 70 miles per hour. That in itself could do damage, right? Even before storms move into the area. So these will start to pick up after about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, the way it's looking for most in the valley. Higher elevations, you'll probably start to see it closer to sunrise, the way it's looking. What could that mean across the area? Well, obviously, trees down, power lines down, and some damage to homes, possibly even before the storms move in. This is 7 o'clock in the morning, so this is kind of giving an idea of what kind of gust we could have across the area. Showing a little bit lighter, as I mentioned, in the valley, but we're already seeing those winds gusting to about 20 over the plateau, but close to 40 in the Smokies. The graphic we have here, anytime you see the darker red shading, those are going to be winds gusting over 50 miles per hour, and we're seeing that close to midday over the plateau, or excuse me, into the Smokies, and then across the plateau, we're already seeing winds gusting 30 to 35, and we're seeing the 20 to 30 plus in the valley. So you can see how it's going to ramp up pretty quickly as we approach midday. And then as that cold front gets closer to the area, winds are really going to go up. You're seeing a lot more red, not only in the Smokies, but into the valley and across the plateau as well. These are winds by 3 o'clock. We're seeing 30, 40, maybe 50 mile per hour gusts for much of the area. The front moves through. Still a little breezy behind it, as I mentioned, at 6 o'clock. We're still seeing some 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts. That is going to be the case until we get a little bit past sunset, and then that wind starts to relax. So kind of the other things that we'll be watching with this system, basically, not a heavy rainmaker throughout the day tomorrow. That threat is mainly for tonight. Down trees and power lines we have in that medium to high risk. A couple of reasons why. We've had a lot of rain recently, as you know. It's been a wet, late winter, if you want to call this early spring. So the ground is very saturated. Another thing is, warm as it's been, we're already starting to see a lot of those trees bloom, right? We're getting leaves on those trees. They act like a sail in a sailboat. They gather the wind a lot easier. They can be easily pushed over. Some of those weaker trees can be snapped in half, right? That's another thing we'll have to watch. That's kind of why I have the down trees in that medium to high range, and the power outages could be high as well with the gusty winds we're expecting. All right, is there any chance any sun coming out before the storms occur tomorrow? Yes, it is possible. The winds themselves, though, are going to be transporting a lot of the fuel we need northward, and that's the thing we'll have to be watching for. Often, I think the question was asked because often we say, hey, if you get that sun before the storms, that's usually not a good combination because it adds more fuel. Simply the strong winds we're going to have out of the south will help push that fuel farther northward across the area. So if we saw a little bit more sun, then yeah, it wouldn't help at all across the area. But if we don't see much sun, still that threat is going to be there. So that was a good question. One thing we always tell people is just have multiple ways to get alerts. Don't be scared, be prepared. One of the best ways you can do it, download our free weather app while we're sitting here watching. If you're not watching on your phone or tablet, you can take your phone's camera and put it right up here to the QR code, that little box, and it's going to take you to the link that you need to where you can download our free weather app. Or you can just search Knoxville Weather in either the Google Play or the Apple App Store. Couple of things here as well. Make sure your phone is not turned to Do Not Disturb as we go through the day tomorrow. Again, you're not going to need this overnight tonight, but through the day tomorrow. Have multiple ways to get alerts. No Weather Radio is great simply because if the power goes out, they have battery backups. They're going to keep you updated, right? Smart speakers at home. Some of them you can say, hey, turn on weather alerts. They will do that as well. So when something happens in your area, you'll get the tone that you get if a package arrives or something like that, or if you have a notification and then you say, what is my notification? And it will tell you what those alerts are across the area. And of course, you can always stay up to date online and on air here at wate.com. So again, what we're looking at for tonight, just some scattered rain showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. That may cause some isolated flooding. I wouldn't expect it to be widespread, but as wet as it's been, it wouldn't take much to cause some issues across the area, all right? So here's what we're looking. Oh, someone asked, is there any thunderstorms for tonight? I just mentioned that. Non-severe, okay? Yes, rain, a few rumbles, you may hear it, and some of those will contain the downpours of heavy rainfall that could lead to some flooding, but no severe weather expected overnight tonight. So back to that. For tomorrow morning, the winds will start to increase shortly after sunrise. And then the timing, let's go back to that. The timing graphic of about when we would expect these storms to be moving through the area. I'll get kind of an entire perspective here. So about 12 to 2, that would be Eastern time across portions of the plateau. So I would be ready anywhere between 11 and 1 Central time. Here in the valley between 1 and 3, and then anytime after 3, areas shaded in yellow to the east. So Knoxville, Middlesboro, anyway, all the way down through Monroe counties, you're in that 1 to 3 time range. McMinn, Roane, Morgan, Fentress, Scott, and Campbell, you're in that noon to 2 Eastern or 11 to 1 Central time. Anywhere from Granger, Jefferson, Sevier, Hamblin, north and east, Hancock, Hawkins, Greencock, you're at about after 3 p.m. time frame the way it's looking here. That makes sense. So again, even before these storm chances move into the area, don't forget the threat for those damaging winds that could be into the area. We're talking 20 to 35 mile per hour winds with gusts in that 55 mile per hour range. That in itself could bring down some trees or power lines. Couple things, hopefully, if you haven't done so already, maybe early in the morning, like right around sunrise, try to get out and secure any loose objects, lawn furniture, maybe on a patio or something like that. Make sure that they're secured. Bring down any flags off of flagpoles, okay? Want those to be safe as well. Maybe wreaths on doors, something like that. I know Friday for summer trash days, that could be problematic as well. That could all end up in the cul-de-sac at the end of the subdivision, something to watch for. Will everybody see storms? No, the answer is no to that. Will some? Certainly. We feel that's the case, or else we wouldn't be weather aware and wouldn't be talking about this. But we just want to make sure you are safe. A lot of schools have already decided to close because of the threat of the damaging winds, maybe some severe thunderstorms, and then also the risk of some flooding overnight. I'm not expecting flooding during the day tomorrow. It would be overnight if there were any issues there. But somebody, again, another person asked about the potential for tornadoes. And yes, we do think that there is a potential, which is why we've been talking about this. Even if there aren't damaging winds, 50, 60 miles per hour brings down a tree or a power line onto a home or a car, that's problematic, right? But we do have our tornado threat as medium as we go through the day tomorrow. That could change, maybe goes up a little bit. I've been looking at some of the new data coming in, and it is looking a little better opportunity, we'll say, for at least the rotating storm potential. Whether or not those storms produce a funnel that comes all the way to the ground, can't say for certain, but I would say this is something we have to keep a very close eye on as we go through the day. All right, I really appreciate you guys tuning in here, and I hope you will stay updated, as always, at wate.com. And coming up in about an hour at 11 o'clock, we'll have a full recap on WATE 6 on your side, news at 11 as well. So I hope you will join us then, and I hope you have a good and restful night tonight.